But you and Eric and I have a common burden, and that's the great falling away that is predicted. And I want to spend just a few minutes talking about that with you. We're probably going to hit some current events too, but the falling away that precedes the coming of the Lord in 2 Thessalonians 2, let no one in any way deceive you. It will not come unless the apostasy or the falling away comes first. And I've heard you say that Satan is trying to shipwreck Christians. You talk a lot about this great falling away. What has been, in your pastor career, what has been the movement that you find the most troubling? The emergent, easy believism, social gospel, ecumenism, the tolerance movement. What of these troubles you the most that's infecting the church today? They all are, and they're all doing damage, but talk to us about what you see as some of the most troubling.
Yeah, that's an awesome question, and here's my answer, and this is one reporter's opinion. This is from just this man. I see it, Jan, this way. We've all heard the term, it's a slippery slope, and I believe Satan is a gradualist. He knows how to deceive. And so all of these aberrant things you just listed, I believe that together they make up Satan's repertoire for deception. For example, you mentioned the ecumenical movement. We think about the World Council of Churches, for example, and what they stand for. You mentioned things like the emergent church, easy believism. I believe, Jan, that this is all in the packaged delivery system of the enemy to anesthetize the church, to pollute the church. And as you look at the progression of this deception, I believe every month or every year we see it advancing, it gets more attractive to those that are not informed. It gets more church-like. It's dressed up with greater trappings of religion, and yet all the while appealing to the flesh, using buzzwords that should be solely our Christian heritage, meaning unity. All of these things have this one thing in common, among others, but let's sacrifice biblical truth and everything else on the altar of unity. Right now among the young churches, and I'm not disparaging or throwing all the young churches under the bus, but I'm saying that there's a tendency among many in Christianity today that unity is everything. Unity is the pinnacle. And they'll cite verses, of course. But there is no such thing as unity, Jan, when we depart from biblical doctrine, when we depart from the truth. You can't be unified unless you are rallying around an issue or a topic or a doctrine. But see, people today are throwing doctrine out the window for the sake of unity. And I'm diametrically opposed to that. I don't believe you can have unity unless the truth is your foundation. Amos 3:3 says, how can two walk together unless they're in agreement? And so today, you would think unity is the end-all for all of our problems. Not true. The end-all is to declare the truth and to come under the banner of truth, but some will not. Some don't want the truth. And that's where I believe Charles Spurgeon said, those are blessed subtractions. These people who leave the truth, let them leave. Don't hold up unity as the issue of primacy for all of this. So when I look at the movements that you mentioned, I believe they're all working toward a global unification, and truth goes out the window. Truth is the victim of this campaign of unity.
Amos 8:1 says that there's a famine of the Word of God, and I believe the reason we have all of the things that you mentioned in your question, Jan, all of these aberrant ideas that have come into the church and have found a home, is because of a lack of reverence for the Word of God and its authority. We do not give the Bible authority. We want to throw it out or just cherry pick from it that which we want, and we end up with all the errors that you mentioned there in the question. So we're in lockstep about this completely as Jack began to unpack that this is the real problem, is the authority of the Word of God is a question today in the church. I'm talking about in the evangelical church.
Yeah.
The